Hey guys, welcome to another English commentary done by Diggity. This is OSL R16, and it's going to be a match between Frozean and Rock. And this is huge because if Frozean wins it, you'll have a three-way 2 wins, 1 loss tie between Frozean, Savior, and Flash, and you're going to run into a playoff situation. If Rock wins, I think just Savior and Flash wins, but Savior's going to be the higher seed because, Flash is going to be the higher seed because Flash beat Savior actually on this map. This map is Katrina, and really, Katrina, I've ranted and I've raved how much I don't like this map. By the way, Rock starting in orange at the 12 o'clock position, 9 o'clock position, we have Frozean. And we'll see how Frozean does, because Terran doesn't have a very good record on this map versus Protoss, and I think because it really encourages sealing yourself in. As you can see, that kind of nuclear power plant map artifact there, and it's funny, you can shoot it down no problem, whatever. Anyway, but you can basically seal yourself in and get that early expansion, but really the Protoss can do the same thing, and 2 expansions for Protoss a lot stronger than 2 expansions for Terran, just because Protoss units are stronger. And we'll see, Rock is a very creative player. He's a very aggressive player. He has a large fan base because of that. I think he's also a very passionate player. A lot of people talk about his random dropkick ceremony, things like that. And really, to be honest, Rock hasn't impressed me terribly with his play. I think he kind of overextends himself too often. He's not a very balanced player. He doesn't kind of cover his bases. He leaves a lot of gaps and kind of goes for very quick thrusts and tries to win things kind of basically overwhelmingly. And he's, I guess to a degree, like Mania as far as Terran in that regard. I think Mania is very good with dropships, but oftentimes, and he tries to exploit kind of, I should say he's opposite of Mania. Mania exploits weaknesses, whereas Rock tries to create them. As you can see, he's getting that early gateway down. And really, if I was Rock, what I would do is I would just, get that gateway down, take my natural expansion, and play the steady, but he's really not known for doing that. He's known for doing kind of crazy things. He's getting a dual gateway build here, and that's honestly the worst thing I think you could do on a map like this. Katrina, you know that your Terran opponent is going to seal his front door. That's kind of the standard pattern. Maybe Frozean learned it. He might keep a little bit of a gap in his front door, or be a little more aggressive and try to take a little bit more ground early. But going kind of that early production, unless he goes into fast dragoons, I don't think this is going to be effective at all. As you can see, that front door sealed. And if Frozean, even if he does go dragoons, if Frozean manages to get his tank out rather quickly, that's going to be taken out unless Frozean just absolutely mispositions his forces. As you can see, that assimilator going down. So maybe he in fact is going to go into a dragoon build, but I don't think that's going to be successful. Did Rock? I'm kind of confused here. I'm not sure if Rock even realizes what map this is, or maybe he hasn't studied what other Terran have done. And if I do see like 2 zealots being produced, I'm just going to absolutely lose all respect for Rock altogether. I hate to say that at this point, but we'll see how it goes. It doesn't look like he is producing zealots, fortunately. So, and as you can see, that Terran factory going down. And my guess is by the time you're going to see, he does have a single zealot out, but I'm not going to call that the entirety. Let's see if that. As you can see, he's going to approach with that zealot, and now he can't do anything. That front door is sealed, and he didn't need to seal it in the. As you can see, it's another fast expansion by Frozean. Frozean playing this very typically, whereas Rock not, and that cybernetic score is going down. And it looks like it does look like Rock is going to try to expand in the upper left-hand corner, and he's just going to try to harass a little bit with that zealot. I'm not sure how successful that's going to be. And wow, a lot of factories going down for Frozean. Frozean, I think that's going to be his third, going immediately into a 3-factory build. I'm not positive, but I remember seeing another factory going down prior to this. It doesn't look like the range upgrade is going for dragoons. And Frozean actually Rock doing an interesting kind of seal-in build there. I'm not quite sure why he's doing that. Usually Protoss are the aggressors on this map. He's going to set up that zealot, and I'll give Rock some credit for this. He is making sure that Frozean doesn't really have an opportunity to get out of his base, but and I take back, he hasn't gone with a fast expand. I'm not sure what Rock is doing at this point. Maybe he's going to go for kind of a later fast tech and 2 dragoons out now, but I don't think they're range upgraded. Going to go, it looks like an early drop, and with a robotics facility, maybe he's going to try to kind of copy Bisu's build and go for kind of an. And actually, I take that back. That's a very clever maneuver by Rock. He knows that Frozean is going to seal himself in if he goes that robotics, and he's basically denied all information by keeping that zealot out in the open. So basically, I don't think Frozean's going to be able to see this. He's not going to get an academy out for a long time. And if Rock basically just kind of does a quick infantry push, maybe even like 2 zealots and a dragoon, that could be really effective against Frozean's kind of more conservative seal-in build. So swung right back around. I'm impressed by this tactic, but that SCV out in the open, and really, if Rock is going to be successful with this drop, he needs to make sure that that SCV doesn't get anywhere near the robotics facility. Now the question is what does Rock do from here? If he builds an observatory, or if he goes for a robotics facility, if he does something actually clever, now he's going to get that second expansion down, and I think he is. I think because you don't see that second, basically anything else being produced, I do believe that he is in fact going to go for a drop, and that drop, I think, yeah, it's going to be more successful because you're going to see that Frozean isn't going to have a ton of forces out. He isn't going to be prepared to really push out. And he's not going to basically you're going to be able to see kind of a dump into his base. And yeah, that's very clever, I think. But the question is, and yeah, you can see the robotics support facility going down. So kind of a Reaver drop on Frozean, and as you can see, that Academy going up. Now the question is that drop going to be en route before Frozean spots it out with that Academy? This has been a little slow. And I'm surprised he didn't go with the fast expand first, and maybe get down kind of an infantry support before going drop, and just kind of camp his units up front, and then kind of do a double push that direction. But this still might end up working for him. And really, if you're going to do a successful drop, I would have suggested more maybe Dark Templar and Quick. And now here comes Frozean with a decent force. I'm not sure if Rock has anything out to fight this off. I still don't know if he has range upgrade on those Dragoons. You can see a little bit of panic on Rock's face, and you can see those couple tanks, a couple vultures. He does have a dropship up, getting the observatory now, but really I don't think he doesn't have a Reaver yet. He doesn't, and that's a decent sized force for Frozean. He's going to load it up with 2 Zealots and a Reaver here, and just 3 Dragoons. That's not going to stop all of that force. He is going to have to use this dropship in this battle, and that dropship is basically not going to be useful anymore for drops. Frozean basically see it off. That Reaver out in the open now, and he's going to have to go back and scoop that Reaver up. We'll see if he's able to fight this off. Vultures in the back now. They're going to immediately go to the secondary. Those tanks and those 2 vultures going to be able to take out those Dragoons, and yeah, more units being killed here. And Frozean actually, I think, being very intelligent here, popping open his base and being aggressive like he needed to be, where other Terran players haven't, doing a brilliant job spreading his tanks out to kind of reduce. He got that vulture a little too close there, but doing a good job otherwise of keeping his units spread out to minimize the damage from that Reaver. And now going to push up with his vultures and try to do basically as much damage as possible on the economy. My guess is he's already gotten all the probes out at that secondary, and now just kind of picking out what he can. Another expansion going down for Frozean in that bottom left-hand corner. That Reaver still managing, basically that Reaver basically saved Rock's life at this point, but still the damage is done to his economy, and I think he's definitely behind at this point. Frozean looking very confident here, and yeah, that Reaver just kind of chilling there. It's in a defensive position, so there's really going to be no opportunity for a drop, and Rock not doing a very good job, as you can see, losing both those Dragoons. And I think better Protoss players you would have seen kind of manage to push that out, and he's just going to try to, and Frozean just going to try to get those mines backside. So basically he's forcing him to get the observers out to dedicate the mines, and wow, managing to outrun that mine that Reaver Scarab just barely. An armory going down, so he's going to switch to air. If Frozean brings up basically Goliath, that dropship's going to be taken out, and those Reavers are going to be very exposed, especially if it's kind of a tank Goliath force. And only 2 factories out though, and now, wow, you can see Frozean starting to produce some Marines in the background, but Rock going to go up and take that out with his Reaver. Let's see if Frozean, yeah, he's going to cancel that Marine and lift it up. But still a lot of mines down, so I like that play by Frozean, basically because he has those mines back there. If he decides to do a drop or kind of push into that secondary, that's going to pin those units back there, and he's going to have to ferry units back and forth. And now Rock realizing, now's my opportunity. I fended this attack off. Let me try to equalize some damage.